Hello, my name is Nikita. I'm a WordPress developer with around 15 years experience, including 4 years working in the office team. Well, assume you're all good developers working, have experience at some Upwork, TopTal or similar platforms. You know how to build some sites from scratch, make plugins, themes, fix glitch code, optimize, so on. When you're a good freelancer, actually no one cares how do you manage it, what is your code like. And suppose you're going to leave freelancing and switch to the teamwork. First of all, great thanks for the support to my wife Victoria. We'll be grateful if you clap. Okay. Let's start. So my idea is to give you some roadmap based on my experience. I faced a lot of times have gaps in my knowledge, especially when I met much more skilled developer team. So this is the main cons of freelancing. So, Internet has a lot of sources of knowledge, a lot of manuals, specifications, so on, courses, free and paid, long and short, and so on. But usually, each course covers only one topic, usually promises you to guide from zero to master, and pretend to be some ultimate source that you pass this course, you know everything you need to know about the development. It reminds me the old Indian parable when blind men are studying the elephant. They touch his trunk, ear, and tail, and each of them thinks that the elephant is like a snake, like a leaf, like a rope. By the way, it's maybe not a coincidence that elephant is the symbol of PHP. Sorry, once again my wife. Typical advanced PHP course includes basic syntax, different date time, string, regular expression, functions, exceptions, database access, sending emails, template sessions. Usually, very often the length of the course exceeds 8-10 hours. Also, it reminds another book, Learn Chinese in 7 days. Once I took one Udemy course, something was like advanced PHP course, which promised a lot. It was 6 hours length. It includes only 9 minutes of PHP frameworks, 9 minutes for design patterns, 27 minutes for SOAP and WSDL protocols. So it took me one evening to rewind it and get the certificate without learning anything new. So, like Cheshire Cat guided Alice to the garden without giving any direct answers, I will try to do almost the same. I want to underline that my speech is very abstract. I won't go deep in any of the themes. So you have to learn a lot yourself, but you will get the incomplete list of the subjects you have to learn. So, if you're a WordPress developer, you know it's based on PHP. So, the things which you must know is core PHP. You have to know the specifications. You have to track the changes even in minor updates. Design patterns, model view controller architecture, algorithms. For algorithms, you can try yourself your skills at some code wars or lead code or similar project. Web technologies, HTML, CSS, of course, even if you are a backend developer. Even if you are a backend developer, you since WordPress introduced Gutenberg, you cannot work without knowledge of JavaScript, including React.js. As to WordPress, the same for the specifications. You have to track the changes, know well how to work with developer.wordpress.com, with WordPress codecs, how themes and plugins are built, like template hierarchy and so on. API, hooks, actions. WP CLI, the console tool, is not often mentioned by some courses, but today it was mentioned at least twice. So it's a very useful tool which helps you to install the WordPress project from scratch, fill the database with dummy data, create themes and plugin skeletons, migrate, make search replace easily. Gutenberg, the new visual editor, well, not new, it exists for 2 or 3 years, maybe more. So it's something you have to know. There are a lot of freelancers who still work with the ancient editor, solving different tasks with metas, which is not so convenient for the webmaster. Also, third-party plugins is a very important part. You have to know what plugins can help you to reach something. You do not have to reinvent the wheel all the time. So, for example, everyone knows here WooCommerce is a good tool for the cards. Polylang and similar tools are good for multilingual site. Also, I would like to mention the Bulgarian project Carbon Fields, maintained by HTML Burger, the company with headquarters in Varna. MySQL, well, you have to know very well WordPress database class and its basic methods. Also, you have to know how to protect the data, how to make custom queries. The basics of table structure, where the post methods, taxonomies, options are hidden in WordPress database, how to migrate, search, replace, and so on. Give just one example. At my work, I had always to deal with a huge database with some maybe tens gigabytes. I had to migrate it to some test branches. And then I learned that I don't have to search replace all the database. I have to make some changes in WP options table and some other places without search replacing the complete database. It was enough for testing. Transients, also not often mentioned, but was mentioned in the first lection. A lot of applications. One of them is storing the temporary data to save time, to save, for example, API requests results. When you deal with some remote API, you request all the time. It takes a lot of time to wait while it is loaded. Sometimes it is a chargeable data, like in case of Google BigQuery. Version control system. Sorry, I have one misprint here. So the most common are Git and Subversion. The first one is used for maybe the most part of the projects, including both commercial and open source. Subversion probably it has its own users, but mainly if the company maintains some project at WordPress or theme, or it could be theme or plugin at WordPress.com, like advanced custom fields or carbon fields I mentioned earlier. Git flow, GitHub flow, or similar work process usually depends on the company corporate standards, the same for naming conventions. When you're a freelancer, you're a solo developer, no one cares how you name the commits. Do you use any version control at all, and so on. Here it's very important, if company has some strict standards, you should follow them. Code review is an important part too. When you're a solo developer, no one validates your code, or maybe very often, if the customer is the developer only. So it helps check the code, find some not good decision or some misprints, some errors, or maybe the attempts to pass some backdoor. CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery is also a very huge theme. But all the companies usually have it. So it has a lot of purposes, like code linting, passing the tests, deploy to the server. When you are a freelancer, you can upload your code via SFTP protocol, break site for maybe some minutes, maybe for an hour or more. Actually, it's not so crucial. But when you deal with a project with a lot of visitors, so maybe with a lot of customers who pay money, well, your company won't like if you break the server with some missed semicolon for, I don't know, for 10 minutes, for an hour. With this, you can manage zero downtime if it's crucial. Virtualization. The common excuse for the freelancers is that it works on my machine. So when I deal with such excuses, I usually say, okay, pass your laptop to the customer, he will install it in his data center. There are a lot of for that, Docker, VirtualBox, or some wrappers like Devilbox, Lambda, Vagrant, and there are tons of them. It may depend on the company corporate standard, or it can be your own business, but it's very important to replicate absolutely the same environment. Just a simple example. The latest PHP update, 8.4, introduced new syntax for class initialization. you can initialize your class without brackets. If you do the same on some previous version, you will have a syntax error and you break the project. Debugging profiling. Usually it's not something the company forces you to do, but it's a good idea to debug your code with some popular tool like Xdebug, follow APM to track where is the leakage of the resources, what query takes too much time, what was the downtime, etc. Testing tools. There are a lot of kinds of tests. There are many testing patterns and so on. I won't go deep here either. It's for you to study. If you create your own tests, you will save the time for the development, you will save the time of your teammates, of QA, and as a result, you will be a better developer. B2B services is something Freelancer meets very rarely, or never. Such services like Permitive or BigQuery or Brightcove are used by companies. Usually it's a B2B service, so not applicable for small companies, for pet projects. It is usually an expensive license or some kind of subscription. Sometimes some special environment is required for that. When you going to enter some team, you read some job description, you know that, for example, the company uses Brightcove for video hosting. It won't take much time, like 5-10 pages of API specification. You read it, usually all these services follow some RESTful or API or Grafana standard. They do not reinvent the wheels too, or at least you can say during the interview that, well, I haven't had experience with Brightcove before, but I know Vimeo API, I know YouTube API, I think I won't get lost here. One last picture. Legacy code is the typical work of the developer in the office. When you're a freelancer, you can insist that, okay, it's easy and less expensive to clear everything and begin from scratch. You use legacy code, you use all the abandoned plugins and so on. In case of some corporate project which is being maintained for 5 or 10 years, no one will deal with it. And so the typical legacy code is something published years ago, updated by multiple teams. Lots of them stopped working for left the company. There are gaps in documentation and in the code, and usually you are told don't fix if it isn't broken. Well, depends on the company too. Thank you for your time. Hope I was useful, and I am open to your questions.